Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to Green Guardians, Fueling India's Energy Transition, an initiative by India Business and Trade, where we uncover the visions and perspectives of thought leaders who are driving the clean energy revolution in India. I am Aishu Bhardwaj, Assistant Editor at IBT, and today we are privileged to have with us Mr. Vineet Mittal, Director of Finance and Strategy of Navitas Solar. Thank you so much, Mr. Mittal, for joining us today, and we are eager to gain insights from your journey and experiences. To begin with, I just wanted to know, and it would be a very simple question yet very important. What is your inspiration behind starting Navitas Solar?
So first of all, thank you for inviting me to speak on this platform. It's a great pleasure, and it's a good initiative to directly connect with the clean energy related entrepreneurs. Um, what was the motivating factor of vision? So honestly, uh, we come from a textile background, and there are certain elements where there are some pollutions that are happening on the in the air or in the water, and uh, our elders, our parents had always a thought of doing something to either change the existing process or at least do something else which is in a way beneficial to the larger environment, and that's how they always inspired us to think in a more environmental friendly way, not exactly which specific product or service, but that was what our whole inspiration came from, that we wanted to work in a more socially responsible manner. And that's how we explored few options, and then finalized with solar as an opportunity.
That's great, sir. Moving on to our next question. As an influential player in clean energy sector, how do you assess the competition landscape and growth prospect for the industry? Also, what is your target audience and what strategies does your company employ to offer a superior value proposition in this dynamic market?
So we have always been proponent of distributed solar as the true application for solar energy, generating solar power at the point of consumption without the need for expensive transmission network. This is the true beauty of solar energy. You can generate power at the point of consumption. So we have kept that as our focus in terms of our customer base. Our customers are spread out in the whole country. About 800 or so customers that we have served until now have been installing solar or consuming solar in some of the other rooftop or the electrification and pumping programs. And this has been our key focus, or in a way differentiator, to remain relevant in the competitive market. And with the best of the products that we are able to supply to the remotest part of the countries, the technologies that are globally available, and bringing them to the last mile requirements.
Right, sir. Moving on, I just wanted to know, as an entrepreneur, you must have faced a lot of challenges during the initial years. And could you please brief us about those challenges and the impact you have made thus far?
So one of the foremost challenge was arranging enough debt finance for the
Mm-hmm.
greenfield project like this, because
Mm-hmm.
banks had not seen a lot of history in solar manufacturing within India way back 10 years ago. Now there's a lot of impetus, a lot of government favorable policies. So
Mm-hmm.
that is slightly easing right now, but in the early days, arranging finance for the setting up the factory, for working capital, those were like key bottlenecks that we had to manage and mitigate with our group strength and the educational qualification that our team possesses on the management side. We were able
Mm-hmm.
to mitigate, but it was a challenge at that time.
So, sir, do you still face challenges? I mean, Navita started in 2013, I guess. So it's been almost 10 years. So, uh, can you please tell us challenges you face today at the time where, even the government is pushing this sector?
Right now, I think the major challenge is constant fluctuating policies at the central
Mm-hmm.
level,
Mm-hmm.
because of which there is very little forecast of predictability in the policy. So
Mhm.
if there is enough clarity for 3 to 5 years ahead, what is going to be the
Mhm.
roadmap of imports? Will they be allowed? Will they not be allowed? Will they continue supporting the Indian manufacturing in their government
Mhm.
procurement? Incentive programs, tariff and non-tariff barriers, and support of local manufacturing. So there are a lot of things that are there in bits and pieces. The overall challenge is there is no one single comprehensive policy that covers almost all of these things, which we
Mhm.
have seen in other countries and other regions. So I believe that is, I think, one of the most important, biggest challenge for all stakeholders in the industry, where the visibility of policy making is requested to be in line and on a long-term basis.
Okay. So, sir, when we are talking about long-term basis, I want to know what is the long-term strategy of Navitas Solar, and are there any specific areas where you and the company are focusing right now?
So on a long-term basis, we want to continue building great products for our customers in India and also very soon exporting to few of the other large countries and continents. So we will continue with our current positioning of being a value-driven company and providing value-added products. So that is always a long-term thing. Obviously, we'll have to continue scaling up, continue adding more geographies and more customers in our portfolio. So that is going to be a key element of our growth strategy. Along
Mhm.
with that, we are trying to diversify into the supply chain on the upward raw material supply and in the downstream execution activities, and
Mhm.
focusing on different category of customers to remain relevant in the market, not depending only solely on the manufacturing arm, but having few related diversifications or the addition of businesses. So on a broad level, we want to look our company as a platform where
Mhm.
we would be present in almost all the items of the value chain and continue growing in each of them progressively.
All right, sir. Moving on, these days, solar plus storage is becoming extremely popular. So, do you think it is a growing area for startups today and another area for investment opportunity when it comes to businesses?
So definitely storage is an integral part of renewables. We all
Mhm.
understand solar is a intermittent power. It is not supplying power on a continuous basis. You cannot depend on solar for base load requirements. So storage becomes imperative. There are different forms of storage. One is the mechanical storage in form of batteries, products that were already there for ages, a lead acid battery of different capacities, different types, and the recent few years lithium-ion batteries of different chemistries again. And then these days people are talking about pump hydro, which is also a form of storage, a kind of potential energy storage in water on large dams. So in all sense, storage and solar go hand in hand. Without storage, solar cannot thrive. It's only a question of affordability, which is definitely becoming a key factor. Like what solar was about 10 years before, it was slightly expensive but still manageable. Now it's the thing with solar with storage, which is slightly expensive but still manageable depending on certain applications. So in all probabilities, it is a very big opportunity. Even we have been active in developing our
Mhm.
own textile for lithium batteries for
Mhm.
ESS market and for electric mobility, which was again dependent on green power. Green power comes from solar, and the
Mhm.
batteries go into the electric scooters and three-wheelers, the Indian road conditions and driving conditions. So
Mhm.
definitely it's a very attractive category to enter if someone is looking for entering the overall clean tech ecosystem.
All right, sir. And we are moving on to our last question. With the PLI scheme, new players are coming and the capacity is increasing. So, how do you think it can push the existing players in the market? Also, um, What recommendation do you have for the policymakers to ensure that the sector could get the enough acceleration?
So definitely the existing players and few new entrants have applied for PLI, got
Mm-hmm.
allocation, started building
Mm-hmm.
factories around that.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest advantage for India will be self-sufficiency in the supply chain from right from silicon level to ingot and wafer and then the cell module. The only challenge or recommendation that we would have as an MSME entrepreneur in the manufacturing space, being available and present in the industry for almost 10 years, companies like us and companies like us, that there should have been a separate allocation for mid-size and small-size companies who have been present in the industry for at least 5 years and a certain level of allocation for expansion plans for only the module line and maybe some additional support on the cell line,
Mm-hmm.
which would have been very more, it would have been a lot more inclusive in that sense. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, it was the kind of structure that was offered was feasible for only very large corporates, and
Mm-hmm.
whether they have the technical expertise or not, but if they have the financial strength to bid for these kind of tenders versus the existing capability of already manufacturing Indian companies like us.
Okay. So thank you so much, Mr. Vineet, for joining us. It was indeed an exciting chat, and I'm sure that our leaders must have gained, so much from this, from so much from what you've shared. And for our audience, I think that's all for today's episode of Green Gardens. Stay tuned for more captivating discussions. Until then, keep supporting sustainability. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. I'm looking forward to connect with you again in future, and I wish Navitas Solar all the best.